All of that is telling me that I'm getting better. And this is encouraging when you're at that stage where you often feel that you're not getting better. Hi there, Steve Kaufmann here today. And today I want to tell you, don't set long-term language learning goals. That's the subject. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Click on the bell for notifications. And if you follow me on a podcast service, please leave a comment. I do appreciate it. So very often, people have, I think, a vague goal of what they want to achieve in learning a language. They want to be able to speak comfortably. They want to be able to travel and talk to people. They want to understand movies. They want to read a book. Could be any number of things. Maybe they need it for professional reasons. So at some level, we do have this long-term vision of where we want to get to in a language that we're learning. And people know that. So if you buy a Asa Mill book or a living language, they'll say, when you finish this book, you'll be at B2 on the European, framework. The trouble is, and I have done this before, and I'm making this video because I've started into another 90-day challenge in Persian. So I was thinking of, what are my goals? What do I want to achieve in 90 days? And I realized that in the past, I've set sort of a goal for myself of what I want to achieve in 90 days. And I'll say, I want to be able to understand Arabic podcasts, or I want to be able to understand movies. And typically it's a fairly ambitious goal. I want to achieve this level in the language at the end of 90 days. The problem is that I never achieve that. In fact, very often I have no real measurement of how far I come in those 90 days. I just realized that I'm better than I was 90 days earlier. So these longer term, I want to get to this level type of goal, very difficult to measure. And there's one thing I've learned in language learning, and I think which should be applied in schools, is it's very difficult to sort of compare people, grade people based on their achievements. The only thing you can really measure is their level of activity. That's what I would do if I ran a classroom. I would say, how much are you people reading? My students, how much are you reading? How much are you listening? How much are you engaging with the language? If you are active, some will do better, some will do worse. Some will do better in some aspects, some will do better in other aspects. So if that's what I would demand of people, who, if I were teaching someone, I feel I should do the same with myself. So in this 90-day challenge, I'm not going to say I want to be able to understand Persian movies or read Persian poetry. All I'm saying is that I am going to set myself very short-term goals of what I want to achieve every day. So every day, I've set in when you sign up at LingQ, now this doesn't just apply to LingQ, it could be in whatever program you're in, give yourself short-term goals. In the case of LingQ, we're asked to set, whether we want to go at a leisurely pace or an insane pace. An insane pace at LingQ is 400 coins a day, which is actually not very demanding, as I will show you on my graphs. So I said, okay, 400 coins a day. Bear in mind that we have now sort of brought all of our various activities together, and so you can earn coins by listening, by reading, by saving links, by speaking. Any number of activities will contribute towards that coins total, and that's what makes it very easy to achieve that 400 coin level. If I listen for half an hour while doing the dishes, I'll pile up a bunch of coins. If I read through a lesson and save some new words or move some words to known, very quickly I accumulate these 400 plus coins. So I said, okay, that's a relatively easy goal to maintain, keeps me going, but I want a more specific goal. So I want to add 50 new known words to my known words total. Because here again, if I do that for 90 days, that's 4,500 more known words. So I'm now a little over 10,000 known words in Persian. That'll take me closer to 15,000. How much is that going to help me? A lot of those words will be lower frequency words that don't show up that often. Am I going to understand Persian movies? I don't know. But I'm going to focus on those very sort of concrete goals. Because in chasing more known words, in chasing more coins, I'm forcing myself to engage with the language. I'm forcing myself to read more. I'm forcing myself to listen more. And in doing that, I will gradually get better in the language. How much better? I don't really know. And I wanted to make sure that I set myself a goal that was realistic. So I'll show you on my graph here. I had a look at my last 30 days, both in terms of coins accumulated and in terms of new words added. So there's some mountains there up and down because I wasn't forcing myself sort of daily to hit a certain level. So by looking at that, I'm comfortable that I can easily get 400 coins a day. And by pushing myself a little bit, I can reach 50 new known words a day. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of days, now that I'm paying attention to it. So normally, just by listening and reading and going through texts, moving the odd word to known, I'll probably hit that 30, 35 new known words per day level. But to push it up to 50, sometimes I have to force it. And so what I then do is go to my vocabulary list, find all the status 3 words. I can sort by status 3 words, filter by status 3 words. And then if I am 10 words short, I'll go through those and find 10 that, in fact, I already know. Now, a couple of caveats. So I can measure that known word number, but what does it really mean? We don't really know. Some of the words that I claim to know, I may later on forget, so they slide back. People criticize the word count and LingQ because we count every form of the word as a different word. So run, running, runs is 3 words. That's not fair, they say. You should count word families. Maybe, but then it raises the question of what is a word family? So if I take the word, like we talked about, activity. So act, react, action, are those a reactor? Are those different words? Are they forms of the same word? I don't know. Spoil, then you have a spoiler on a car. Spoils, the spoils of war. I think even sort of deciding which words are part of a word family and which words are in fact new words is also somewhat arbitrary. So I prefer to go with the way we count them at LingQ. It doesn't mean anything, objectively. You can't say, I know more words than you do, or I know more words in this language than in that language, because, of course, the number of forms of words is going to be greater in some languages than in others. But what it does tell you is if that known words total increases, then you know more words. You have engaged that much more with the language. You have been active with the language. And so it's an indication that you are moving forward. This is particularly important as when we're at the level that I'm at now, which is sort of the intermediate level, where I often have the impression that I'm not getting better. But if I can look at my statistics and see, and hopefully after 90 days, I'll have added, if not 4,500, at least 4,000 or so new words to my known words total. Probably that's going to mean that there are fewer and fewer blue words, in other words, unknown words, in my lessons. It's probably going to mean that there are more and more white words on my lesson page, fewer yellow words. All of that is telling me that I'm getting better, and this is encouraging when you're at that stage where you often feel that you're not getting better. Now, how much will my spoken Farsi improve? I don't know. I'm going to have a conversation with my Persian tutor, and I'm going to record it. I'm going to ask her to provide subtitles, and that will also be sort of like a starting point. And then at the end of the 90 days, I'll do that again, and we'll see if either you or I can notice any improvement. So, once again, it's fine to have a long-term vision that we would like to be fluent and we would like to be able to have intelligent conversations in a language or understand movies or read poetry. It's nice to have that as a vague goal, But in order to push yourself in that direction, you should not focus on the long-term goals. You should focus on short-term, possibly as much as possible, measurable goals that you do every day, that nudge you, that push you, that keep you going, so that you eventually get closer to that a little more vague vision of where you'd like to get in the language. Now, I have spoken about goals before, so I'll leave you with a couple of videos on a similar subject. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.